Hey, what's up? It's Renee Misha. So today we're going to be covering a lot of topics. We're going to be covering a lot of tactics that are used for negativity. So the title of this broadcast is They Wanted to Make You Dark, because this is a serious issue that's been going on lately. So we're going to cover triangulation, gang-stalking, gossiping, cyber-stalking, bullying, misdirection, confusion spells, toxic relationships, incantations, word spells, propaganda, programming, suppression, energy harvesting, misinformation, false love, love bombing, rage baiting, arguments, dark music, movies, violence, sexual immorality, atheistic culture, bad foods, and valuing materialism over God. These are tools of the enemy. So I know that's a lot, but I don't know if we're going to get to all of it today, but just wanted to give a brief overview. And I also wanted to answer any questions that you may have. So let me first make sure that we are on, and then I'll go from there. So I always double check first. So hold on just a minute. To answer. I can't believe how long that was. So, and I also wanted okay. I just want to make sure everything's working. All right, cool. We're good to go. So, okay. It's really, really important right now, if you didn't already know, to maintain positivity and maintain a high vibration because, oh, awesome. Thank you, Wells. How are you? And if you guys have any questions, feel free to chime in at any time. We're not going to, probably get to all of this right now. But it's really important, if you haven't already been experiencing this, to know that there are a series of people right now who are hungry for energy, who are very dark. These people get off and enjoy bringing down the frequency of others. That's because, as you guys can already tell, we're going through a massive shift and a massive change and transformation. Oh, hello, Forrest. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? So there are a series of people, a group of people. We're about to go through a massive shift. I'm actually probably not going to hold back too much on this tape while we can still talk about this, because come next year, some of this stuff, it's going to be very difficult to talk about. We're going to start off with number one. If you guys aren't aware, with some of the updates that are coming out and some of the changes, we are in the age of the AI influencer. So as of next year, it's going to be very difficult to distinguish when we're on these forums and platforms who's real and who's not, because the technology has gotten that good. In fact, there are all of the top social media platforms have now made contracts to where influencers, massive influencers, athletes, etc., are now going to be able to license out their likeness, their image, their voice, everything, in order for it to be used in AI that's going to look identical. So they're going to have interviews, conversations, sit downs. They're not even there. They're not even present. So some of you have already maybe come into, found little clips of this online. This is rolling out because there is much more technology than this that is already ready to go. And like we've talked about numerous times on here, and if you're new, there are lots of tapes on this. I've done a few tapes on this already. There are two kingdoms. There's a split off. You have one that's demonic, Luciferian. You have one that is organic and biblical. So this stuff is heavy right now. And we're talking about, if you guys have experienced triangulation with narcissism, you may have experienced more of these, gang stalking, gossiping, cyber stalking, etc. The most important thing, and let me move this so you can see the board a little bit better. Hopefully you can see it. The most important thing right now is to keep your frequency high and do not engage. They want to pull you into arguments. They want to pull you into debate, whether that's online or in person. And some of these people may be friends and family members and people you did not expect. I have already seen people flip in ways that are almost unbelievable. I have seen close friends that I have known for a very long time switch into hardcore atheists, start being very pro technology, pro the implantation of certain things that are to come. So people have been primed and they have been prepped and they have been conditioned to follow the darker path. Let me check really quick. Hi, Bliss Portal. Oh, thank you, Bliss Portal. Yeah, made it a little bit clearer. Oh, you're welcome, Josie. Thank you so much. So, don't get pulled into cyberbullying. Do not get pulled into arguments online. As of next year, when you guys look through your feeds on different platforms, I won't say which platforms, a lot of that's going to be artificial. And we've already seen little tidbits of it, but not to the level that they're planning, where the people that you're interacting with and seeing, even the video content, everything is personalized for you in a way to prime and condition you. This is some really serious stuff. We're at a point now to where we're going to have to, make a choice. Because again, the technology is ready. This technology is worth an estimated $300 to $600 trillion. And a lot of people don't want to get left behind who have the opportunity to get on board with having a claim to a little bit of that income that is going to be coming from this technology. The technology is very biblical. All this is prophesized in the Bible. I'm not, the Bible, right here. If you haven't already, even if you're like, oh, I don't read, get a physical copy of the Bible. Physical copy. This is the New King James, not New King. This is the King James original version. Maybe get as many religious books. Well, let's not even get into all that. Get physical books, but a physical version of the Bible, because all of this is playing out sequentially. All right, so let's get into some more of these topics. And if you guys want to focus on a specific one, we can. Just let me know. So, false love. It's really important too to be careful if you're not already being careful. I know many are overcoming narcissistic or toxic relationships. To be careful of new loves right now, because if you're dealing with a person, there's so many how do I put this? Complications that can happen from if you fall in love with someone, just like the Bible actually discussed. If you fall in love with someone and they choose to go this path, I'm being a little bit careful because there's certain, keywords or whatever that, you're not supposed to say. But if you have people in the future who choose to go with this technology, and you don't, it can put you in a situation that can be very painful. This is going to cause potentially a lot of divide. So yeah, be careful of getting into new relationships, especially if you are someone that's recently overcome narcissistic abuse. Okay. Also, right now, we have to be aware of atheistic culture, because that's starting to be pushed more and more within the media. And in subtle ways, it's like a chipping away. I think they used to call it the death of 1,000 cuts. It's those little nuances and those little bits to, trust the science and change your thoughts to this and that. And, if you take this, we're evolving, the human race. They might say little things like that. We're evolving humanity with technology. I would, be very careful with that and use your intuition at all times. Yes, absolutely. You said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces and wickedness and high places. Yes, that's in the Bible, and that's exactly correct. Absolutely. You said you were beginning to think that I'll go back through and I'll reread that again in just a minute. There's a lot of different activity though that, yeah. Be careful of cyber stalking, bullying. Again, really, really important to not allow them to pull you into arguments, pull you into debates, pull you into fights. Pay attention to your chakra system, even if you haven't before. If you start talking to someone and you notice that your throat starts to feel really tight or it starts to feel like painful just to speak, I would definitely end communication with that person as soon as you can. Politely get out of the conversation. If you start to feel any weirdness within your solar plexus area, your stomach, or gut feeling, if you start to feel cloudy or if you start to feel drained or something just feels off, please remove yourself from that situation. Okay. Human data, the actual biological human data, is the most rich, powerful, potent, and valuable commodity in the marketplace right now. I'm sorry, I might get a little bit distressed because this subject is very disturbing. Be very careful because a lot of these companies want your data. They want your biological data. They want to know what you see, how you feel. They do not care about individuals. They don't care about giving you what they are going to claim. So please be careful with these new technologies that are coming out. Okay, so let's continue on. Be very careful too of, if you're not already, I feel like a lot of you guys are already being careful about this. Sexual immorality. Be extremely careful with that, because when you are in sexual relationships and you start mixing certain energies together and connecting and bonding and bridging, that can also cause a complication if the person that you're doing that with is dark or demonic or negative. Valuing materialism over God. This is the root of the whole thing. This has pretty much been the greatest problem. It's the fact that people worship mammon, as it's referred to in the Bible. Materialism, feeling good, traveling, vacations, partying, whatever. Material objects over God. With this new technology, you'll be promised all kinds of everything material you can imagine. So it's important to be aware of this. Now, maybe I'm completely wrong on all of this. Even though, despite, actually, I'll show you guys some proof in a little bit. I've got some funny things I can show you guys in a minute. Okay, let's see. Confusion spells, incantations, word spells. Okay. When you're communicating with your friends, your family, new people, it's important to not only read between the lines, but make sure that what they're asking you, what they're telling you to do, aligns with your core values and morality. So if they say things like, oh, business is business, or oh, it doesn't matter, or it's really important to weigh these things and to really value morality, spirituality, and God above all things as of right now. Let me check the chat. Let's see what's all right. Wells, what do you mean by they manifest physical material objects? I'd be really interested in hearing what you mean by that. Okay. So, I don't know. Should we go into specifics? Also be careful of dark music, movies, violence. All of these were used as priming tools to condition people. And let's see, of course, try to eat as healthy as you can. And, okay. We'll probably touch on a few of these things a little bit more in a moment. I don't want to specifically call out specific companies, but I'll just tell you about a few reports that have come out over the last week or 2 weeks, the most recent press releases. You said vanity plates. What's a vanity plate, Wells? Yeah, what is a right after praying, you said against something an hour before. Maybe I'm not sure if I understand that comment. Sometimes I'll read a comment, and if I'm reading it really quick, I'll like think about it later. I'm like, okay, but yeah, feel free to elaborate. That would be awesome. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know if I just want to make sure, because some of these videos and things like that, these were recorded by the company, but well, I'll give you guys some information that you can look up. Actually, that'll be even better, so you can see it for yourself. So I have taken screenshots and videos for links for you guys to check out, so you can see the stuff for yourself. Okay, so give me just a minute to pull this up. All right. So one is by Meta. Meta is releasing a brand new technology at the top of the year. And again, like I said, this technology has been out for a while, and much more advanced technology. And how you can find that, it's the new generative AI tool that they're going to be adding. And if you look at the head of Meta, he has a video where he shows what they're going to be doing now with the generative AI tools, which basically, it's not like a green screen or something like that. This is done in 4K quality, and it basically scans a digital image of the person and of their environment, repurposes that image in generative AI, and makes it to where you cannot tell if your friend is walking the dog on the beach, or if they're in front of their house, or if they're in Thailand, or if they're in Brazil. It's so perfect and so accurate that you'll have no idea. This is just commercial technology, and they said this is rolling out at the beginning of the year. Also, this platform has just released that they will be aligning themselves with the company called, so you guys might want to look into this just for your own benefit. I'm pulling this up right now, the name, so you can type in the exact name and come to your own conclusions about it. And if you have any additional thoughts, feel free to share them in the comments. You can come back to this video. Okay, I'll be there in about, I take a lot of photos, screenshots, so almost there. I have to scroll through like a whole 2 days worth of photos here, so hold on just a minute. But the agency is called CAA. I'm trying to get the full name. This article came out by The Verge originally, but it's in many places now. So let's see if I can pull it up quickly. If I can't pull it up in the next minute or two, I'll just give you the information so you can look it up. Okay, I think it's here. And I appreciate the questions and the comments. We'll try to answer as many of those too today. Look up Verge, VERGE, and look up YouTube CAA agreement. Let me see if I can get the exact name. Can't believe how much stuff I saved in the last day or two. All right. But in that article, it talks about how celebrities and athletes will now be allowing their images. So they're allowing themselves to get biometric scanning, which is like a machine you go into and they take a 3-dimensional biometric scan of you in super high quality. And that they allow them to go into the studio, record super high quality voice samples. And then they're going to be allowing their brand managers, it talks all about this in the article, their brand managers and their agents to go through and license out that person's image and likeness, voice, etc. And the companies, the people that are operating and controlling it can basically write the scripts and make that person do and say whatever they want. So they'll get a check every single month or whatever it is. So let's say they get like $75,000, and let's say Shaquille O'Neal or somebody like that. They will allow them to, the celebrities will allow themselves to be used, and athletes and influencers, in a way to where they'll be making shorts, videos, doing interviews, and actually you can do it in real time. So the person can be seen there in real time, making the person speak out different things. They do expressions, they do giggles, laughs, everything, and it's not real. So imagine if you have this technology and on top of that, it's also being customized specifically for you, right? It gets a little bit weirder when you add in the technologies that are coming out after that. So this is stuff that's rolling out, they said, at the top of the year. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. I cannot believe I didn't think I was actually going to share that part. Just give me about 30 seconds here. If you have any questions, that would be a perfect time. Please, please leave the questions right now, and I'll just scroll through this really quick. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see. Okay, so this is right where I left off. Huh. That's weird. Because I want to show you guys a photo of this. Okay, oh well. Also, I want to show you guys a photo of something weird that happened the other day. And I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom, but unfortunately, this is just what it is. Now, I want to show you guys this too. This is really bizarre. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of weird because, I look out my window and there was a limousine that was just parked and pulled up right in front of my house right when I made a phone call to somebody. And it has the secret society symbols on the back of the car. And it was weird too, because my intuition told me, wait a minute. I just saw a limo pull up, and intuitively I knew, I wonder if there's secret society symbols as bumper stickers. And I looked, and sure enough there were. This is not the first time this has happened. And then ironically, as soon as I ended the call, right as we were saying goodbye, they pulled off. And it was them, and it was another car that was just there randomly, just sitting there. Now, I don't really get into all that stuff too much, but I do find that to be a little bit strange. So I wanted to show you guys that picture as well. You said that, but yeah, if you want to look up the article, YouTube with CAA, I was trying to find that screenshot so I could see what that stood for. Maybe one of you could look it up too if you want to. You could put it in the chat if you feel like it. CAA, and the article was by The Verge magazine. Now, it was on like Rolling Stones and other companies, CNN and stuff, I think talked about it as well, but you said, right before praying against something, wait, let me go back up really quick. So you said vanity plates. Oh, vanity plates, you said. Right before praying against something, an hour before personalized vanity plates, a personalized license plate. Directed. I'm reading what you're saying right now, Wells. Yeah, actually, Wells, what you said about that actually kind of ties into what I just said about me getting the feeling that something about that car. I wonder if, and then they had those stickers on the back, and you know, I don't want to exactly say what name, but hopefully you can make it out from the photo. You said you start praying Psalms 91 for protection after learning and hi Bliss Portal, good to see you. You started praying Psalms 91 for protection after learning more about astral projection. Do you know about how entities use astral projection to spy on others? We actually talked about that quite a bit in the last live stream. I know I was a little sleepy. I'm a little sleepy today as well. This is actually my bedtime. That's why I don't think it's going to be too much longer. I'll probably just stay on for a few more minutes. But, so about how the entities use astral projection to spy on others. So what kind of spying do you think they're doing, Bliss Portal, specifically? What kind of spying specifically have you encountered or are you wondering about? And yes, Josie Wells, that is definitely a synchronicity. Absolutely. Yeah, and I wouldn't worry about it too much. I was just like, okay. You know, and it all could just be a random coincidence with the car doing that second time in a row. And it being a stretch limo. I rarely ever see stretch limos at all. And I'm like, huh, a stretch limo pulls up in front with those stickers on the back right when I get on the phone, and then as soon as I get off, an hour later, they pull off at the exact same moment. And I actually tried to keep the person on the phone too, like an extra minute, just to see, because I could sense that it seemed like it was... Anyways, but yeah, that's not what happened. Okay. I'm waiting to see, Bliss Pearl, what your response is as far as what type of thing that you think they're spying for. And if you guys have any other questions, please leave the questions in the chat, and we'll try to go over as much as we can in the next couple of minutes. I'll probably get off in about 4 minutes. Programming and propaganda. So I try to, you know, respect the fact that everybody, you know, has their own choice to make and things like that. But people have been primed and programmed from the time that they have been little kids. We have been indoctrinated with an unusual amount. And if you guys didn't already remember, I do have also degrees in sociology and a bunch of other stuff, but you don't need those degrees to notice that from the time we were little kids, we were already conditioned with things that heavy sexual messages, heavy messages to try to get us to maybe drink alcohol or use drugs or party or sexual immorality, things that were directed at targeting our purity. And I thought about it one day. It's like, well, why not be pure and innocent as an adult? Why do you have to, you know, why is it normalized to be dark? Why is it normalized to have multiple sexual partners? That's why I titled this, They Wanted to Make You Dark. I feel like with some narcissists, not all of them, but many of them, it's like their goal is to try to corrupt you, and their goal is to try to make you dark. And especially if you're a lighthearted person and you smile a lot and you're happy and you're bubbly, it's like they try to attack the things that attack the positive things about you, specifically to lower your vibration, or you could say lower your frequency, in order to make you cold, empty, disheartened, negative, bitter. And that childlike pure imagination is a gift. That's something that for some people, though, was crushed. And even the belief in God, if you ask certain dark people, they would say that that's a childlike thing. It's not. It's a part of our makeup. It's a part of who we are. But if you were a man or a person who was trying to become God, and you were trying to utilize certain technology, certain powers, in order to do that, that would be your main enemy. Your main enemy would be a person who believes in God, a person who is pure, a person who is logical or of sound mind, a person who values that stuff over materialism, cars, clothes, sex, money, etc. All right, so manifestation, you said? Wells. Okay, we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. Bliss Pearl says, more in the realm of checking in on someone's state of being for their own gain, personal uses and gain. Well, Yeah, we could talk a little bit about astral projection. Well, okay, hold on. How much of that should we get into today? Checking on someone for personal gain or uses. If you feel like you've been dealing with that, I think you said earlier you used Psalms 91. You shouldn't have demonic spirits that are monitoring you or that are checking on you. So if you haven't already, don't consent to that and ask God to block that, and ask your angels or higher self, if you believe in angels, to block that off and to guard you from that, and say that you don't consent with that. The astral realm or the unseen realm is vast and a lot of stuff happens, but it's not all negative, as you might already know. Ashley, thank you so much, Ashley. Joseph, oh, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. If you have any last questions, please put it in the chat. I think there's like a 1 or 2 minute delay. If I missed any comments earlier, I apologize. I'm probably about to head off because I ran out of energy drinks, and I've been up for like, I don't know, I've been up since like the AM, like really, really early. So I'm like, I got to get some sleep pretty soon. Yep. I wanted to come on earlier, but overall, somebody wanted me to talk about sleep paralysis earlier, actually, in the comments. Sleep paralysis, I wouldn't fear sleep paralysis, to be honest, but it's something that, this is kind of controversial. If you feel like a dark energy, a dark force, or a dark presence, I would immediately start praying. But sleep paralysis can actually be beneficial. So, just, yeah, that gets into some pretty deep stuff. But, you're welcome, Bliss Portal. Okay. Any last things here before I head off? I did want to get a little bit more into the incantations and the word spells. One of the things that a lot of narcissists use. They try to trick you into, if you accept this, then you have to do that. Ultimatums. Yeah, definitely email me later on, Wells. That would be great. So, be careful of anyone trying to use basically manipulative tactics. And actually, I should grab a book for you guys. Ooh, there's actually, I had a whole stack of books, but I moved them, that I wanted to share with you guys. Look at, one's called Demagoguery and Democracy, or Democracy and Demagoguery. I don't want to take too long, go run and grab the book, so maybe I'll show them later, but that's the title. That book, it talks about all kinds of techniques that are used in political science, or in order to control nations. We actually had to study that book in my rhetoric class at UCLA, and it was fantastic, because if you actually go through and look at the book, this was a few years ago and I read it, it's like stuff that literally is playing out now. Stuff that played out this year. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab that book, so give me about less than 1 minute. Okay. All right, I'm back. All right, I might cut that part out. Sorry about that. All right, so here are a few books, like recommended books, if you guys want to read some later on, outside the Bible. Okay, so you can get any. This is what they had us read in philosophy I also got accepted into UC Berkeley for philosophy, but I decided to go to UCLA instead. But anyways, so this is a great book because it's used by schools of that caliber. So this one right here. This one's going to help you a lot with understanding a lot of the manipulative tactics that are used today. This one right here. Let me show the author's name. Demagoguery and Democracy. This one is like very short, but hardcore. I actually want to do a live stream. I might go into this for a few minutes. Some of these books kind of get into esoteric stuff, so maybe we'll talk about that later. I'm being prompted I should show you maybe this one right here. That's an old book, very valuable. Let's see, I think that's about it for now. Yeah, I'll show you guys some more later on, but those would be good ones to get started. This one's like $5, I think, or $10 to buy on Amazon. Let me see if I can go to a quick page. Yeah, it talks about scare tactics that are used, straw man techniques. It breaks down how the media and how politics work to manipulate people in order to not just control what they vote for, but to manipulate them on way deeper levels than that. It talks about how bots are used in order to manipulate people into starting arguments. Hold on just a moment. It talks about disinformation campaigns, smear campaigns. Yeah, so this is a university book, recommended book. So it's not, if that matters, like just to I think it's good to have a balance, sometimes. So this is meaning it's like very well researched. But, let me see. It talks about, false evidence, logical fallacies. Yeah, we'll go through that a little bit later. But definitely check this one out. Again, it's like probably $4 or $5. And, definitely get a good solid book on logical fallacies. This one is great. I don't know if you could see it. But yeah, ad hominems, affirming disjunct, affirming consent, alleged certainty, alphabet soup, appeal to nature, appeal to intuition, appeal to loyalty, appeal to pity, appeal to popularity, appeal to possibility, appeal to repetition. Like, this breaks down different ways that people use strategies to pull you into arguments in order to basically take energy from you or drain you. So hold on just a minute. That is very weird. Oh, this must be the new updated version. Yeah, so any of the versions of this are really great. So I didn't realize that they talked about what happened 2020. And it breaks down different arguments they use there to manipulate people. Wow. I was kind of surprised to see that in that book. So anyways, definitely with that's going to be helpful. But yeah, just pray, meditate. Oh, can I hold it up closer? So both of these are university books, and I got them because these are like, they break down all kinds of argumentation techniques, manipulation techniques. It's by Patricia Roberts Miller, Demagoguery and Democracy, Logical Fallacies, And even these PhDs and a lot of these doctors right now are being silenced. It's really sad. Bo Bennett, PhD. Bennett. I think you can get that one for like probably $10 or $15. Because they're going to be using probably every single mind control, every single propaganda technique and logical fallacy, argumentative technique known to man to manipulate people for what we were talking about earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Hopefully that was helpful. And so yeah, these are tools of the enemy and ways that we can prepare ourselves going forward for spiritual warfare and for possibly the mark of the beast and very diabolical, the mark of the beast, period. I mean, and the mark of the beast it may take the form of a nano, it may take the form of a chip, but like they say, don't take a bite, BYTE, of the apple or of anything like that. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and what else can I say before we get off? A lot of the information about this stuff, like there used to be so many conferences of like the CEOs. Remember how Steve Jobs and them used to do like these huge conferences to mega crowds where they would talk about the goals for the future and what the company's direction is? So the ones related to this technology, they specifically gave some important years, and I watched these about 10 plus years ago. I noticed that when you go to search for them now, you can't find them anymore. So these CEOs talking about their agenda and their plans, it's not really available for searching. So the way that we can armor or prepare ourselves is by, keeping something like this on hand, the Bible, and using our intuition and discernment going forward. So we don't get fooled or tricked or manipulated into taking on a technology or taking on a technology that we shouldn't. You said, I feel like you're part of my soul tribe, girl, even though, oh, thank you, Ashley. Hope so, that'd be awesome. You said, do you sometimes see demonic inside people? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see him, like, I'm not trying to be, like, I don't like to, boost myself up, but I can see it immediately. So much so, if you watch my last live stream, I touched on that a little bit, where, I see them so well that I could actually identify exactly, what demonic spirit they're attached to. And we got deep into that one last time, so, but yeah, I can see him very well. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you have any questions, you can email or comment. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, leave a comment below, and yeah, we'll discuss it in a future live stream. Have a great rest of the night. Bye-bye.